Hey everybody, this is Robert Dempsey with Life of the Freelancer, and I'm talking with my good friend Scott Scanlon of Ubrand Inc. Scott, how's it going?
Good. How's everybody doing?
Well, everyone here, which would be me, is doing quite well. No, but yes, we hope everyone watching this or listening to this is having a good time. So, Scott, now, you and I met a little bit ago, really not that long ago, at Startup Weekend. We were on the same team. The Polywix team, we kind of clicked. You're an awesome marketing guy. I always need marketing advice, God knows. But can you tell the folks watching this a little bit more about what it is that you do?
I'm CEO at Ubrand Inc., and I help individuals and small businesses market themselves in digital media. Really anything from online, mobile. It really focuses on everything you need to do online. So at the core, I always look at, what do, dude, I don't know what I was going to say. So and,
There's no
that's
editing.
all,
Come on, keep going.
that's all I wanted to say, actually. But no, really what I do is work more as a consultant, and we provide an all-in-one solution to help businesses and individuals market online. And now we're starting to look more into like digital media, so like mobile marketing and that aspect, because I believe that's the next frontier. That is the opportunity for any individual or any small business out there.
Right on. And now you have a podcast too that I'm listening to every day.
Yep,
So pitch that.
definingnewmedia.com.
All right.
And that's about 15 minutes or so of just where I cover the latest news in new media and give you actionable advice about what you can do about it.
Right on. Yeah, that's good stuff. I listen to the Defining New Media podcast every day. So now
I've got a dog in the background, so hopefully that's okay.
Hey man,
Great
that's
about working at home, isn't it?
yeah, that's how it goes. It was funny. I was interviewing someone once, and his son like started running around like behind him, and you'd see this little head just kind of going from one side of the screen to the other. It was really hard to concentrate, like with this person right behind. But hey, that's why we work for ourselves, so we can work from home and have fun like that. But anyway, so sorry, tangent. So now you and I are going to be doing a webinar together on Thursday the 14th at 2 p.m. Central. And there's some reasons for that, right, that we wanted to discuss on this during this conversation, if I can form a coherent thought here later in the afternoon. But right, so there's some reasons for doing that. So let's get into that. So what is it that we're going to be talking about? Why don't you tell me? Because I frankly have no idea.
Well, really, isn't the catalyst of this?
I'm just kidding.
I was just going to show up. So,
okay.
The catalyst of all this is that you do a lot of great interviews, provide a lot of great information. You just interviewed Chris Brogan. You just interviewed, who else did you just interview recently?
Oh, Jim Kukral. And next week, for when this is coming out, Johnny B. Truant, I'll have that interview up too.
So these are awesome interviews. They're great. And I interact with small, and I know you do too, but I interact with small business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that have made it. And we got to talking, and we saw these kind of like trends or these things that people were just mentioning, or things that they do, that when we met people that aren't quite there yet or aren't at that next level, we really share with them when we see this. When just the other day I was the person that released this book here. It's a jungle in there. Steve Schussler. I got to tour his facilities, and it was amazing. But just the time that I got to spend watching him and his team and how he interacts, I learned a lot of great things that any entrepreneur could take. And that really was the catalyst of what we wanted to put together, right?
Yeah, because I didn't know who Steve Schussler was until you told me. He's the guy that came up with the whole concept of Rainforest Cafe, which is like when I was living in Florida. So you'll see that in Disney. They have a Rainforest Cafe. They're in the Mall of America up here. I mean, they're all over the freaking place. Yeah, so I mean, you get to talk to these great people. I get to talk to them. I ask advice like off camera also. So when the recording stops, I got these folks, and I'm like, hey, I would love some advice if you have a minute, right? Because like I'm poor over here, and so any free advice, especially from these guys I can get, I'm all for. So it's stuff like that, and all the interactions that you and I do on a daily basis with very successful folks that we're going to cover a number of these things that they're out there doing and how other people can do them in this half-hour webinar. And the reason that we decided to keep it half an hour is because we're both I know you're busy. I'm freaking busy. We're both up, god awful late. And my assumption is, at least from the people I speak with, that folks like you and I are also extremely busy. So we're keeping it short and compact.
Yeah, and part of, I think, both of our value proposition always is like, get to the value content, right? And we want to keep it that way. So probably part of this too will include background on us. Instead of going through the first 15 minutes of saying why you should listen to us, we will probably include that elsewhere and then provide that in the beginning and say, hey, if you really want to know why you should listen to us, visit here, and then we'll just jump right in. I think that's just respecting people that are going to attend the webinar. I think that's just the right thing to do.
I've been on so many webinars. I don't know. I'm sure you've been to a lot of webinars where it's like, as you said, right, the first 15 minutes is kind of like justifying why someone's there. There's some content, and there's this like amount of pitch that's either, there's some length of time of by the way, this is what we sell and do. And I will definitely mention that both of us have products and services for sale on our websites, and I smile about that just to kind of sneak it in there. But we'll mention that. But the whole point of the webinar isn't to pitch someone on what it is you and I do or sell. It's to give people some friggin' information that they can use, like no bullshit stuff you can implement in your business and start running with it based on some of the stuff that we've been learning from talking with a lot of successful people and some of these big name people too.
Yeah, and that really solidified for me the other day. I met someone at a local coffee shop here, and someone I just casually know. And his name is Rick, and Rick was having a challenge with something, and actually something that Harvey McKay said, because I recently, at that same event, I actually got to just meet him. I actually made that connection in my mind when he was coming up with that challenge, and I said, Rick, what do you think about this? And that really solidified for me that the stuff that we're doing, the people that we're talking to, we could get it out there, but we really think that kind of like the webinar experience is a better way to do that because it can be live, we can bounce off other ideas, and we can really be more excited. It goes beyond just having a blog post or something like that. So that's kind of why we chose to do that. Is that, am I jiving with what we talked about?
No, absolutely. That's totally what we're going to be doing. And so in the interest of time, right, we'll end this, we'll wrap this up too. Right. So again, if they want to learn more about you, Scott, right, Scott Scanlon, ubrandinc.com, me, Robert Dempsey, lifeforthefreelancer.com, and to sign up. Now, I know I'm putting up a blog post on Life of the Freelancer about this with the sign up form embedded, just using a little email list. I had the webinars. I have like a webinar link on the site too that they can click on and see this. Will they be able to go to Ubrand and also sign up there?
I will put a webinar link on Ubrand, and then also I'll do a blog post as well. So wherever you're seeing this, follow that blog post. If it's on Facebook or somewhere else, follow it out. You'll find eventually email form that you can enter, because we're not using GoToMeeting for this. So we're using another service that we're testing, and it seems like a great service, but it doesn't have a scheduling component. So I'm sure they're going to add that. I'm sure they just released it, bare bones, but it looks very promising. So the best way to do that is get on that email list, and we'll only send stuff on the webinar.
Right on. Yeah, and it's going to be, I think, too, since you mentioned, the platform that we're going to use, because it is GoToWebinar, it's going to be like, you'll see me, and you'll see you, and, some presentation probably, too, but mainly it's going to be like you and I talking with the folks. It's not just sitting there watching some, like, god-awful PowerPoint, to, like, bore people to death. So it's going to be, we want to make it somewhat interactive. Obviously, we're going to be hammering a lot of info within that 30 minutes. We'll try and get to questions for sure, and then there'll be follow-up after that too, so it'll be a good time.
Bullet points are evil.
Yes, bullet points are horribly evil. Just don't do that to people in the webinar. We're not going to do it to you. Don't do it to other people. Well, right on. Well, hey, Scott Scanlon, ubrandinc.com. Thank you very much, sir, for your time, and I will be hanging out next Thursday. October, what is it again? October 14th? I don't even pay
October
attention.
14th, 2 p.m. Central Time.
2 p.m. Central Time. Cool. Well, Scott, brother, I will see you there.
See ya.
All right, later.